right now. What are you doing?
I
You
have
can't.
a
You cannot duplicate this kind of look. So please don't do that again.
no
Okay.
no one's trying to duplicate, but I always have sunglasses on my head. So
But you just look, put him back on just so everyone can see him quickly. I mean, this is Jonathan Goldstein's version of. All right, I honestly, what I speak to me right now? It speaks like 1980s, Miami, like sleazy. That's the look I have right there.
I don't like that at all. As a
I'm just telling you. Hey,
I
simple
don't have
comment.
a
Do you not say
I don't have a pair of those white shoes though.
you do the Miami Vice
No,
shoes?
I don't have those.
I bet you do. You have some kind of soft shoe that you don't wear socks on, like the Jimmy Levy. Jimmy's always wearing slippers.
He's
So
always
when we
wearing a
see him,
satin. Yeah, a
he's got slippers, and he wears his moo style kind of clothing, which is nice. It looks comfortable on him. I love Jimmy.
I love
Jimmy's
Jimmy too.
fashionable, but it starts at his shoes. His shoes are the most fashionable. They're slippers. They're literally like the most comfortable shoes in the room usually, right?
Well, he's on stage a lot, so he's got to find out what's comfortable.
So on stage, we had a really cool interview with Monica Page from OAN just a few minutes ago. Just got out of the room, and the really cool part about getting an interview like that is just getting to know the real deal people. And her background from New Jersey, scrappy kind of person who made it through this network kind of movement. It's interesting to hear she's at the White House every day, correspondent, and that will be airing soon. Jonathan Goldstein's father, Michael Goldstein, is running for Congress in Connecticut again, and Jonathan is the campaign strategist. Stra- is that good?
I mean, you want to use your emphasis however you want to use it. That's your
So
personal.
how do you obtain such knowledge to be a strategist in the campaign for Congress?
How do I? Are you talking into a red Solo cup?
This is my newly launched today. We launched the first microphone solo cup in the world, and this is being marketed. Kevin Allen's signature series solo cups will be delivered to your doorstep really soon for the podcasters near you.
I love it because I've been using it as a speaker when you don't have a speaker. So it's been.
So now what I'm doing is I'm actually getting a good sound control and environments, and I'm getting back to traveling again. I'm going to be on the road, and I'm going to be doing my pop-up interviews and this style stuff every day moving forward. It's my therapy. I need to get back into it, and so yeah, I have a red solo. I like it, right?
I
And you know what Monica said? Monica said it's stick with it. She liked it.
I like it too. It's an homage to Toby Keith. So
Praise the Lord, man. Just God rest his soul. What a amazing guy, And you and I both in sobriety. Toby Keith, the Red Solo Cup, but I still get it, right? Like I understand why Toby Keith was an important part of my life. I mean, I was banging those solo cups together, dancing to those songs, and those memories were beautiful, right? I mean, I
they are
can't say I hate
beautiful.
every memory.
They're all beautiful.
Yeah,
This the
but
more.
how's sobriety going with you, man? How are you doing with like the bottle? Are you getting itchy? You need to touch your little pop grandpa's medicine? Are you licking the spoon?
Well, this is the first public time I've been asked about it, but no, don't have the urges. Haven't had them for.
Well, you know what? I didn't know that. And if you want, we're recording. We can start over if you don't want to go
No,
live with that. Seriously, I should.
at this point, if I can help anybody, that's much more important than breaking anonymity.
That's a
So
big word. Give
it's
Greenwich.
not
It's
quite
Greenwich.
strategist.
It's Greenwich.
It's not quite strategist, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, that was very sensitive how you did that. That was a very. We'll get into that another time on the Prayed Up Network right here. Of course, Jonathan Goldstein coming on and popping in with us and doing this, and we're going to do some more of this. We have some really really cool stuff and concepts coming that we're putting together right now. And Jonathan is privy to almost everything, basically. He's been a part of the journey. And Jonathan, I just want to do a live. I got to do this right here because I got to pay the bills here, brother. So. Cash Map. That's right. You see a little bit of Jonathan and Kevin right here. And Cash Map is the solution to your financial billing cycles, right? That Cash Map is a proprietary app, Jonathan. And you want to know what it does for you?
Tell me, Kev.
Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan, let me tell you what Cash Map does. This is a proprietary project that Dennis Williams, the founder of Cash Map, actually is going to be on the show. We officially have a relationship with Cash Map. We are their national brand sponsor right here, the Prayed Up Network and Kevin Allen on the road. So we're pretty privileged to have it. Cash Map will take all your bills, Jonathan, all those bills you have from your law degree, your multiple apartments that you own, the yarmulke business that you're involved in the family industry of Judaism, and all those bills come together. And what they'll do is they'll break it down and they'll fix your financial stability by taking all those interest charges and changing them just by changing the dates of your billing cycle. This is a app-based program that everyone can have, and I think they should. Scroll on down, hit the subscribe button, also hit the link to Cash Map below, and you'll be able to get linked up with Dennis Williams. And for this reason, say Kevin Allen, and guess what? You get a one-on-one with Dennis, the founder. He'll walk you through this process, get you to save up to $5,000 a year on the average of every one of Cash Map's customers and clients. Jonathan, is that a good deal or not?
That's a great deal. I want to get on the phone with Dennis too.
You were going to get on the phone. Actually, I talked about you at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Dennis and I were on the call. Dennis is out on the West Coast, so when I get a chance to get with him, I'm working the third shift gig at the halfway house. This I feel like I'm living the life of Loudermilk. Did you ever see that series, Loudermilk?
I have seen that series.
I feel like right now, and it's so crazy because we started watching it, and when we started watching it was like it was mind blowing because right at the time where I'm working at the halfway house and my whole life is coming into this different stage. I'm watching this dude like who's an alcoholic. Oh man. And he was at some point he had some kind of, prestige, right? And I'm like, well, I wasn't blowing cocaine, but I was an alcoholic and all the bad decisions came along with it. And I'm just so resonating with me that Jonathan, I reached out to you the other day and I'm serious.
Kev? Kevin, did we lose you? Kevin? Kevin? Did we lose you? I guess we
So
did
here
lose
we
you for
are.
a
We're
little bit.
back. No, you lost me. You stay on stage, and this is what we do in this kind of underground podcast world. And but Jonathan, we're flipped now. It's
Can,
fun.
can we call it a Panera pop-up podcast?
It's you know what? Maybe could you pitch that and your expertise as an attorney? Yeah, I know, folks. You're surprised. Jonathan Goldstein is an attorney. I know that's a surprise.
It
He's
is
not
a
a doctor.
surprise.
He's an attorney. I know. But Dad's a doctor.
My
Dad's
dad
a
is a
doctor.
doctor, but the Panera pop-up series, I think, is a Panera pop-up podcast.
I mean, I'm not going to be shameful enough to promote anything.
As you drink from the Panera cup,
What? What?
as you
What?
drink from the Panera cup,
But remember, I'm not. I didn't say it, but that's right. All sips or whatever it is. All the sips. Listen, what's cool is I do. You might be onto something if it's I'm not Panera, but I love doing this because I have people around me and they're kind of looking at me like I'm strange because I'm talking into a red Solo cup. And it's like
you're like,
everyone's looking. I'm like, what are you doing? But yeah, man. So what's going on with the campaign with your dad? What's the story with that? And as a campaign manager, do you think you might be dragged up to represent Donald Trump? That's a two-part question, please.
would I be dragged up? Okay, the second part is interesting. We'll go with the first. The campaign's going well. As you know, we're in the convention caucus part. And what that means for people living in Connecticut or any convention caucus state is there are people that are supposed to represent the local Republicans and Democrats across the state that they're elected by their neighbors in different districts. And they then have the opportunity to select who they want at the caucus, just like the conventions you've seen throughout. A lot of the drama going on and the none of the above person getting the most votes versus other candidates. And what can then happen after that point is they pick their party candidate, and after that is decided, the other candidates who haven't qualified, if they have 15% of the votes, they can go out to primary, or if they don't have enough votes, they can do what we did 2 years ago, which was make history and go out to the people. And we talked about 35,000 people to get petitions to get on the ballot for valid signatures by finding Republicans. And at that time, when we did it 2 years ago, it was quite a heavy lift. And talking to 35,000 people and going, "How are you a Republican in a parking lot?" And just being, I'd get all kinds of responses. But the good news is, you get to talk to people, just like what you're doing in Panera.
Do you talk to
And
people in a lot of the trailer parks in the district? Do you and your dad get to hit the trailer park area, the mobile homes community?
uh, we primarily focused on the town dumps as a starting point because everybody's got to throw out trash.
That's
So
quick. You know what? I'm going to just stop right now and just critique you. Very nicely done. On just you did that really well. Thank you.
it's seamless, like producer Mark getting this thing going for
Yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah. So all seamless is right. You know what's amazing is every now and then God comes along and just gifts this amazing like the reality of the offer, right? And like so, you've been with me on this journey, and in fact, just a year ago today, I would be coming back to Connecticut from Asbury University. And arriving back to from Asbury University, going back home, and with then Paula, my former, partner and girlfriend, and to everything that really kind of created a lot of emotional openings in my life. God came to me and talked to me about doing the Sinners tour, and I turned to you for that. I turned to you
Yes,
for
you
that.
did.
Yeah. First draft was Paula, Mark, and the final cleanup. And I don't say it like, to exclude you as not as important person. I knew I needed to go through a personal, how does it fit, and then to the professional cleanup guy, and you cleaned it up to the point where our organization inspired an event yesterday out in Kentucky that took place and it was successful. And so, although you and I weren't a part of it, I never wanted to have ownership of a concept, anyways. Compensation will be checks will be coming soon, but the journey's been real. When you think about your own experience, sobriety, your own experiences in life, and then our experience connecting, how much do you attribute to God and just the influence of that connection?
I would say God's a major portion of it. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in God incidences. And how we met was simply you had my dad on the air and he talked, and then we started talking on the phone, and here we are getting on the air together, cracking jokes, breaking bread, or you're breaking a Panera, whatever. Yeah, and but we've had a wild journey the last 2 years plus, and it's been an awesome ride, and watching you change and being able to influence change of other people, not from a promotion standpoint, from your experience, but from an attraction perspective.
Mm-hmm.
The gifts that we're given, or the gifts that are given to me. If you like what I have, come ask me how I got there. If you don't like what I have, that's okay too. But the point is, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I'm going to show you how I live mine, and that's the most important thing. That's really what role models are. That's what mentors are. That's what life is really about. And a lot of people do not have the skill to ask for help, or they're afraid to ask for help. And what I'll say to anybody out there in any capacity, struggling personally, professionally, spiritually, everybody wants to help. They just have to be engaged, because giving help is different when someone doesn't want it, because it's depriving another person of that opportunity. And that's sort of a hard pill to swallow, but time is finite. It's our most precious gift. And when I'm approached and someone wants the help, it's amazing. I've been to places where there are guys in like almost like a halfway house type program, and there's 165, 170 of them, just using the process to get out of a drug court issue, or an alcohol issue, but they're not really there to do the work. But there
Right.
are 5 or 6 people that come up to you and talk to you, and those are the people that we care about. That helping it. I don't mean we care about them all, but we want to help those that ask for it. And so when you
I'm
ask for
I'm
some
I'm,
help,
learn, I'm learning a lesson right now, Jonathan, because you just said care about. I want to care for everybody, and I'm in that. And so many people are warning me like you can't fit, the flock, right? And then I think of like, what is that one person that if I didn't touch or try to touch, what could happen? So there's a battle in my mind or my heart right now because I want to help them all, but help everyone. Because you know what? I was gone, man. I was lost. You know this. I gave up. I
Yeah.
was ready to commit suicide, and I was ready to leave this world. And the depression and the alcoholism that you and I've talked about. I might have quit alcohol, but I never went to the programs. I just quit, and the after effects of that to me were the most dangerous part of it because I didn't know what was going on in my body and my mind. That brain getting unwet because I was a severe alcoholic. Um, so yeah, it's pretty amazing how we met. The journey's destiny, and the future is interesting. And so I want to ask in regards to like Jonathan Goldstein, the interesting entrepreneur, sneaker, legendary sneaker and shoe manufacturer with the likes of Lenny Kravitz, AB Money, the famed music producer, and more. Jonathan Goldstein is also an entrepreneur who has offered his advice and business, profession to many people in startup companies. Jonathan Goldstein, the construction worker, and the really patriotic, um, spiritually moved individual. I got to know you. Um, did I hit all those points you wrote for me? There was all the good points I was supposed to
I
say.
have not written a single thing. I appreciate the accolades, but I'm just a man.
Yeah, but
Uh,
you're a good dude, man. You're an interesting guy, Jonathan. You're kind of like the neurotic New York version of modern day Jerry Seinfeld. Like Jerry got a job kind of thing. Like, but you really don't have a job, but you're kind of like him grown up, kind of deal.
I don't know. I don't know if that's an interesting. That's an interesting comparison. I don't know if it's a compliment. I can't even tell. But we'll just say, as I've learned, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. Do you like it when
And
I'm in this mode right now? To me, as you know, in all my personalities, and there's no doubt that there's sometimes I change them, but this is my favorite role of just having fun without rude, just just a little bit of fun because it's all in good fun. Because smiling and laughing is such a therapeutic part of my recovery, and I just appreciate that more. And shout out to Theo Vaughn, man. I'm going to tell you right now, if anyone inspired me to get back on a microphone, 1,000% Theo Vaughn has inspired me. Taking on his sobriety, being a beast of a person he is in the industry, because I was ready to give up. I wasn't doing this again. I was done. I was
well,
done.
and I thought you were out, and we pull you back in, or someone pulled you back in, and
Michael Corleone. Every time I get out, they drag me back in again. Right?
yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly.
I'm overacting because I'm too excited. Because Jonathan, I love doing this.
I know. And when you leave Panera, you got to leave the bread and take the podcast with you. So
Yeah, man. I tell you, so. Listen, in a seriousness note of the business advisor role that you have, like so, and we'll talk publicly about this. I'm sharing my life, man. It's a reality show. Um, I want to get us to the next level, and I know we have the skill set to do it. Like we have the team now that can like execute the cameras. We got the studio. Um, we got the investment into the cameras in the studio. We have a financial, opportunity with Cash Map. Joseph Lombarte is still involved, and of course with Eric coming on board. But Cash Map and that opportunity, I want to get you involved in. What can we do,
well, I
Mister?
think on
We
that
need
realm,
sponsors. We need some more stuff here. How do we do it, John?
we need sponsors, and I think, but in that are that are authentic sponsors to what we're looking to do. And Cash Map is sort of financial literacy, and I think a lot of Americans today do not have it. I mean, when you talk to Americans that think in New York City, inflation doesn't seem to be a problem, or gas doesn't seem to be a problem because you get the response, well, I don't drive. But it affects you because all your deliveries are fueled by gasoline and diesel
Right.
and delivery surcharges, which you'll start to get. So financial literacy can affect smart people and not so smart people alike, but it's not about intelligence. It's about, reaching into your wallet. And that's the question that people are asked every 4 years in a presidential election. Is your pocket better off than it was 4 years ago? And if not, make a change. If it is, you know, consider keeping that person as your leader. And
What do
for
you think
some,
of Kennedy? Kennedy, what do you think of Kennedy as a candidate in this? I mean, and I don't want to go political. That's kind of like the. I'm
I
trying
know
to
I'm
stay
keep
stay on. but you brought it something up, and it's like I feel like Kennedy is the balance of the future in America, and that's dangerous for a Kennedy to be in that position. You know what I mean?
I don't know if it's dangerous for Ken. I mean, for yes, for his potential, the history of the
Well,
Kennedys and
there's a history
assassination.
yeah, and people would exploit that for some, sort of, and I'm not saying this outwardly. It's been talked about, um, because he does challenge the one sided party of the Democrats to split, and he does challenge the Republicans. And so, do you think he's got a shot of disrupting and maybe leaning what side would benefit, in your opinion, Jonathan Goldstein, as we wrap it up here on the
Ooh,
Panera
this is
Bread Live 15 on 15? How many minutes we go? 20. 20 and 20 with Jonathan Goldstein. What's your thoughts on that last question?
okay. Well, so Kennedy is a great candidate on medical freedom and individual freedom, and he's also a proponent of the environment, and that means he'll pull some really left leaning green environmentalists, which is a good thing. On the medical freedom, he challenges a lot of people on vaccines, which is now kind of anti the Democrat Party, which was the party of the vaccine. So that sort of might pull from the right. But remember, I'd say for the last 20 something years, if you were a Kennedy Democrat in the 60s, I completely understand that. That was the party of ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And that mantra does not exist today. It's what can you give me? And please, government, help me with whatever you can. And I don't want to go out and do it on my own. Please give it to me. Please forgive my debt. Please, ignore my responsibility and let's go from there. And so,
If we,
oh, we're losing you, Kev. He's
he's
back.
back. You back? Where is he? You back?
Yeah, I'm back
Oh boy,
now.
let me get. All right, I hear you, but I got to get you synced up with the video. Bang Zoom. Come on, video. Come on. Come back in the room. We're doing this live. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Come back in, Jonathan. Come back in. I'll welcome you in right here from the Panera Bread Studios. Kevin Allen on the road with Prayed Up Network. Excuse me, Jonathan. I'm doing an intro. And on with us today is Jonathan Goldstein of the Goldstein and Goldstein Family Trust from Greenwich, Connecticut. Michael Goldstein running for Congress. Jonathan Goldstein as the advisor of the campaign and family fortune. Jonathan Goldstein's family fortune comes from toothpicks. Back with Jonathan Goldstein.
Thank you for that introduction, Kevin. And just for the record, we do not have a growing toothpick conglomerate.
Oh, you don't? Seriously?
Now, we're thinking about one now that you've put it out there, and I feel like a little
And
Rain
stamps
Man
on the
moment.
side.
I feel like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like Kevin Allen, the role of Rain Man is now being played
yeah,
by Kevin Allen.
yeah. Dustin Hoffman, really great role.
Yeah, definitely
4 o'clock.
347 toothpicks.
Four,
Definitely,
4 o'clock.
yeah,
4 o'clock. Four
it's
o'clock.
5 minutes to Wapner here, and
Yeah. That was a
so
cool. You know what? That was movies when you could watch a movie as much as everyone's so political in this space of entertainment now. But like, it was cool to just say, look at them two guys coming down the escalator in their suits, man. I wanted a suit like them guys, man. I remember there was a happy movie. It made me happy. I feel happy now.
I feel like we need to get those two suits, go down an escalator, and
Yeah.
then walk into a church and a synagogue.
Yeah, let's do it, man. We'll do that, and we'll also go into a mosque because I talked about that earlier. It's we'll talk just like everyone needs to be involved, right? Like I don't care who you are and where you are on any of these topics. It's it's the inability to have a conversation with respect these days, and it does seem more dominated on one side than the other. But there's agitators on both sides. I don't know how we solve it other than a clean wash of everyone. But sobriety for me has been the clean wash of desire to politically debate. I don't, so once I got clean with alcohol, man, I didn't want. I'm going to argue with people about what now. I don't have my juice in me to withstand the anger that wasn't really there. Because I found that alcohol also it always allowed me to just open my mouth up without thinking. You know.
I can appreciate that and understand and identify with that. And I think the role of alcohol has changed too from the political perspective. Even in your probably political forum, there were people on the other side of the aisle that you would have a compromise with because you understood that there were two sides to this, but there was also common ground. And afterwards, you might finish your session at the state house and then go off to the bar and have a camaraderie session and respect each other as equals.
Sure.
Today, it's now that doesn't happen any longer. We're watching a political system where emotion is guiding decision and not facts.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no compromise because there's not even an ability to have a forum for this. And that's what we're seeing with like the extremes on the left and the right. They don't want to talk to each other, so they inflame their bases on both, and then the middle is stuck trying to do something, but it's very hard to get something accomplished. And it's happening on both sides of the parties, and it's not just one, but one it does a better job of hitting emotion and calling everybody a racist but that's still not the approach. And I think what you said about coming together, having a thought of people helping people,
Yep.
um, besides the holy shirt and pants conglomerate of the wedding crashers, um, and bringing that together. But more
I
importantly,
want my meatloaf.
exactly.
Love that. Oh man. And then they got to tell me Will Ferrell might be on a list or something. It just ruined. I hate that part about the real world. I want to be a child when it comes to that stuff. So let me say this to you, that you just kind of inspired me, man. I am. I got co-credits in this amazing God-given thing with the reality show. Now, I'm going to be down and filming the first episode or the pilot episode of my own show, the After Hunt show that I'll be hosting. And so as I'm doing that, I'm thinking, man, what a better political time. We set up a house with only politicians, Democrats and Republicans, and it could be like the former ones. Like we get Santos, right? And we get Santos and we get Trump, and then we get like we get Bill Clinton, right? So you got Bill Clinton, Santos, Trump. Who else would you throw in there?
In that mix right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Whew.
It's a good mix so far. I think it's a good mix out of the box, personally.
I throw Tulsi in there right now.
All right, Tulsi be a balancer because she's a manlier woman than like the men that are there. Most of them, like, you know what I mean. Like, I don't mean like disrespect like men. She's not a man. But she's strong. She's a strong person.
Well, I thank her for her service.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's
importantly,
military, so she destroyed me, and I sounded stupid right now, but I was being respectful, and I hope that comes across that way.
well, I think we should call it unleaded. Because after you shoot a gun, you're supposed to wash your hands of the lead from the munitions.
Mm.
So, like the cleanup session.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be cool, right? If you could get like these people and they go in and you hear them having and maybe you see how in a really microcosm, and it probably not good. It'd probably be Lord of the Flies, right? It'd be like somebody be throwing the boulder down and hitting Porky on the head. It's not probably a good. I don't know. That might be good.
Well, it's kind of like a
cool.
fireside town hall, but what I would bring is some people from the local community to ask questions.
Yeah.
Because you'll see how America's been polarized just by whatever you turn on the TV. But if these politicians or former politicians, they're also people too.
Fixing America town hall. You just got it right there. Fixing America town hall. Prayed Up Network, brought to you by Jonathan Goldstein's media company. And what we're going to do is we're going to offer a space for speakers on both sides to come to an equal conversation, and we'll get the world to pay for it, sponsorship wise, and we're going to go global really soon because of your brilliant mind, Jonathan Goldstein. Where can people find you?
You could do it in a you could do it in a pop-up tent, like the traditional old school, like
we'll do a revival. Revival.
Right.
Revival.
Right.
I love it. Revival. Praise Jesus.
The political revival.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Thank you. You know what? Great interview, or not even an interview. Great conversation.
Right, we're just talking, just chatting.
We're just chatting. So fireside chat with there is a fireplace at Panera Bread right here. I can't show you the camera, but there's a fireplace. Like I wanted to get over there, so for the ambiance. So in the future, I'm gonna stake out the fireplaces. I mean the Panera Bread.
Panera.
Because I think the Paneri. Should I say Paneri bread?
No, it's Panera. The Panera.
And can you source these?
Series.
Can you help me source these devices that we're going to be selling?
the Panera Solo Cup
No,
podcast.
no, this is not the Panera. Well, we sell it though, but this is the official Kevin Allen version microphone, and we're going to be promoting this really soon. And if you want one of these, we can set you up really soon with a one of your own. We can send the kit right out to you for your own personal. And
We're going to call it the podcast in a pinch
yeah,
crash kit.
no, this is, I'm telling you right now, this is a very marketable item right here, and you may scoff at it right now, but believe me, the genius of the history, your heritage will come to light.
I
That was
love it.
not
The only
nice.
thing missing from the only thing missing from it is a string and me
Yeah.
having one on the other side.
That would be real.
Just a string.
Yeah, that might actually be kind of cool. Actually, that's a funny way of approaching it. Jonathan Goldstein of the Goldstein and Goldstein Empire, coming into us today from his remote location in the Stanford Greenwich area of Connecticut. Also lives and resides in the city. So if you see him walking down in New York City, many of our fans that are listening right here, give him a wave or a holler. Say hi to Jonathan Goldstein. The future is all bright for this young man. Jonathan, thank you for coming on.
Kevin, thank you for having me.